Hello guys. So just a little short video here just so I have something to post, I suppose. Um I have a question. Why is it that people think so basically I was talking philosophy with somebody like last week, and what happened is they were talking about they were talking about religion, and we basically got to talking back and forth. And here's something really interesting. People that believe in God insist that there's nothing that came before God. God always existed. And yet, the same exact thing they do not say about the universe. Saying that the universe, basically, they will believe that the universe basically, how they believe that God always existed and he made the universe. And yet they insist that's that way because God always existed and God created the universe. Then they're insistent on that. And yet you flip the script and you ask what came before God. And they're like, nothing came before God. And I'm like, okay, what if nothing came before the universe? And they just can't handle it. The idea that the universe always exists is something that boggles their mind, which is hilarious because that's their exact same reasoning for God. It's a weird logic fault. It's just something I needed to get off my chest. Although, honestly, this whole God talk is pointless. If my theory of everything is correct, there is no God. Not in the way that we think of God. Instead, we have a cold, calculating algorithm. A cold, calculating algorithm that has a set plan for life itself. And we cannot deviate from that plan no matter what we do. So ironically, Christians got one thing right. There is a God's plan, but no God made it. And the plan is not short term. There's no plan for us as an individual. No, the plan is for us as a species to persist until basically the end of time and then relive the entirety of the timeline once more and then cease to exist. That's it. That's the entire reality. The issue is there is absolutely no way to know whether my existence right now is first iteration or a memory. Am I a memory? Or is this the normal timeline? There is absolutely no way to know. I'm either on my first life or I'm on my second life. And there's absolutely no way to tell. Because my theory of everything basically says that that's the case. And it makes me feel odd. I feel weird. I kind of feel a little sick, honestly. My whole belief was that the universe recycles itself infinitely, and apparently that's not the case. If my theory holds up and is real, my whole universe recycling itself theory is bunk. And I don't like that. But my theory has no holes. My theory cannot be debunked. My theory is ironclad. It like, I basically found the algorithm of life itself, of the universe, of everything. Everything fits into it in some way. Everything is guided by it in some way. This formula, you throw literally anything at it, and it works. It makes sense. The results are observed. They make statistical sense. Like, seriously, in the comments below, please, in the comments below, give me something that might help disprove my theory of everything. Please, just give me something I can throw at it. Anything. I don't care if you made it up. Give me something that might disprove it. Poke holes in it, something. Because as far as I can tell, the only other theory close to mine is the bounce effect. The bounce theory, where the universe basically expands outward, cools down, contracts, and then bounces again. Basically my recycling theory, but without black holes. The way my theory works, black holes will eventually just fizzle out. They will stop consuming material because there isn't any, and then basically just fizzle out. If they can't consume anything, they'll just keep radiating away until there's nothing left and disappear. They're not eternal. The whole multi-worlds theory is bunk because of my theory. Alternate realities are basically bunk because of my theory. We have this one universe, one life. Technically 2 lives, but we're not aware of the other life, so who cares? We get one shot at existence as it is. Our free will matters to a point. I will say, so basically with my theory of everything, so you can basically rest assured that thermonuclear war can't happen. Major extinction events like Armageddon or a zombie apocalypse can't happen. Any major complex world-ending event can't happen. The way my theory works is those type of events are improbable to the point of impossible. Because those type of events would increase the future complexity to a point where it's not allowed, and essentially, if global nuclear war was about to happen, something would throw a wrench into the works and halt the process outright. If it even got to that point. If somehow people managed to orchestrate a global thermonuclear war, something would happen. Somebody would snap and betray the people doing this. Like, basically, a random event will happen that forces the event that could happen to never happen. It's essentially the odds of the event happening, like Armageddon or the global nuclear war, or a virus wiping us all out. In fact, COVID is a good example of this. COVID hit the entire freaking planet. But you see what happened to it, right? It infected us at least 4 times, but did nothing. That could have been the most devastatingly powerful virus. It could have wiped us out, but it didn't, did it? It weirdly didn't actually do much damage. It was just a soft reset in the big scale of things. If you're looking at the big picture, it was just a soft reset. COVID is, you know how people say nature's way of population control? Yeah. Nature's population control methods, big population, disease runs rampant, culls the population a little bit, the strong survive, they adapt, cycle repeats. Constantly culling the herd to make them stronger. Well, yeah. That's exactly how my algorithm works. Any time a population, let's say humans, exceeds the capacity to support them, the system falls apart. And we'll keep doing it over and over and over. Why do you think we've made so much technological progress so quickly in the last couple hundred years? Heck, in the last 100 years. We've made leaps and bounds of progress compared to the last few thousand years where we've made almost no progress. Simple. The moment we develop a technology that increases our survivability bubble, suddenly there was a vacuum effect. The vacuum effect caused us to technologically advance up to meet that bubble. The algorithm promotes the algorithm basically promotes society as a whole. How do you think, Islam and Christianity and MAGA and other, mass organizations of people happen? It's a social event. Regardless of what they stand for, it's a bunch of people rooting for a cause. And that's part of the algorithm, is a bunch of people rooting for a cause is literally built into the algorithm. It's normal. Absolutely, basically anything that you do that affects the algorithm in a positive way makes you move forward. So it almost feels like my purpose right now, I guess, is my ability to move forward is by discovering the algorithm itself and proving its existence, so that way us as humans, as a society, can do better. Basically, guess what would happen if we had global unity? If we had global unity, we would be we'd be reaching the stars in a decade. That's basically what I'm talking about. The more we unify as a species, the further we're going to go, up to a limit. And the limit is, like I said, like before, 30 to 50 star systems. That's the max we could possibly ever do. We would not be able to persist past that point because that is the maximum the bubble can hold. Or the holographic projection of quantum physics is what it's really based on, is the holographic projection. There's basically a ceiling, and we cannot go past this ceiling. The bubble can expand to ridiculous proportions, but there is a ceiling it cannot cross. Doing so is impossible. Basically, random events will happen with increasing frequency the more we try to push against this bubble. We would have to figure out some way to basically defy the current laws of reality in order to affect this bubble. That is basically the hard truth. We went from highest complexity, the Big Bang, and our destination is lowest complexity, basically uploaded minds and a deep sleep, dreaming of the Big Bang to the deep sleep all over again, one final time before lights out. So are we technically the dream of a god that is sleeping? We could be. We could already be in that simulation, or we could be heading towards that future. We have no idea, and there's no way to tell. We are either in the simulation or on our way to recreate that simulation. Highly likely that we're the second coming. We're in the simulation. It is highly likely. That is probably the main reason why it's dark out there. No extraterrestrial life that we've been able to find. The fact that it's basically dark out there. That we're not going, according to my algorithm, the chance of finding extraterrestrial life is pretty much null and void, because any life out there that is intelligent has probably already entered deep sleep. At least that's what Grok says, to be honest. I am not sure about that whole thing, to be honest. That is the part that feels like a bit of a logic loop. Like, if we're in the simulation, how does... I don't know. There's just something about it that doesn't make sense. Anyway. That's enough of me rambling. I'll speak more tomorrow, I guess, if I remember to do so. Ta-ta. Bradley Dragon out.